Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly. Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
Stay tuned. Your program will begin shortly.
To another edition of the High Valley Sports Online, the Sports Authority, our High Valley Sports Online Coaches Show, hosted here in Bennigan's. First up, Coach Reno Saccoccia, sponsored by Ford Stuba Maintenance. I want to welcome everybody here, as well as hope that you take the time to subscribe to our YouTube channel and be notified every time we go live. Just go to www.highvalleyonline.com. Hit subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps us in what we're trying to achieve here. We got Coach Reno Saccoccia here, fresh off a big win over Mooney. Coach has 4 in a row over Mooney, closing the gap to 8-5 on the series. I'll tell you something. Offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships, and Big Red played defense on Friday night. I know that. 2 goal line stands. Me and Steve thought Santonio Brown led the charge, had his best game I've seen him play, and held the team to 90 yards rushing and 147 yards passing, and that was a good quarterback.
That was a very good quarterback and a very good defense. But like I told the players yesterday before practice, our front wall, our front line made 5 guys block them, and that cleared everybody else up to make tackles. But before I go any further, I'd like to thank Mr. Saltzman, who's been sponsoring this ever since I think we started. He's been sponsoring Big Red, and we appreciate him, and hope he hears the thank you. But defensively, it was beautiful, and offensively did good enough to eat some clock up and eat some time up, eat some yards up, and it was just a really good game. But like everybody else, don't forget the special teams, because that punt turned the game around when he punted down to the 10-yard line. We got a 3-and-out and had a short field and scored immediately, and then had an interception and scored. I think our first 2 series, the drives were like 5 seconds and 10 seconds. But the defense did a great job, the offense did a good job, and the special teams turned the game around.
Yeah, Coach, Really thought hard-earned, physical football game. That was a very, very physical football game.
3 in a
overall.
row, 3 physical games in a row, Steve.
And just seeing Mooney the last couple of years, I feel like they are much, much improved. You mentioned the quarterback. I mean, he had great numbers coming in. Villangela St. Joe's coach referred to him as a Houdini in the pocket. I thought your defensive line did a real good job of keeping their pass rush lanes and containing him in the pocket. And then you guys controlled Gomez, who was a big play receiver for them and a real tough kid, I thought. So,
and their best receiver didn't play.
No, he didn't.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, they have a good football team, and that's 3 good quarterbacks on the road that we faced. Not all good passers, but good quarterbacks. And you can be a good quarterback in a different way.
Right. And, just looking down the road, definitely I would put a star next to this game. And I don't know, your opinion, a game that's going to pay dividends for you as you move forward from this point.
That's a good point. And, that's what we talked about Saturday at our meeting. We just we think that the 3 teams we played are preparing us for what we need to do for the rest of the 7 games.
Coach, I know you don't want to point out any players, but like I said at the beginning, me and Steve were really impressed with Santonio Brown. I mean, the defensive line as well as the offensive line, I think, have excelled in all 3 games. But in this game, it just felt like Santonio from the side was getting penetration every single time and either blowing the play up or making a big stop.
He made a big play down there on the goal line, too, on first down, or second down after they tried the quarterback sneak. They did a great – he's a good kid. I mean, I'm glad he broke into the starting lineup now, and he and Gorby and Harper, they do a really good job. And then West and he'll come off the bench and do their thing on passing situations. So West is working his way into the lineup. So I think that we have 5 really good defensive linemen.
I agree. I think your offensive line and your defensive line is dictating. I mean, it just seems who's ever running the ball, you got enough points to win, but your defense was stout.
Yeah, it was. And I'm not saying this, being derogatory about anything, but, there's a reason why your starting tailback's a starting tailback. And, we have 3 good tailbacks, but Falks is our starter, and you can tell that he's just because of his experience.
Right.
He played 15 games last year, and he came on really solid at the end, and we dismissed him. But then when you have guys like, Minifield and Bryant, I mean, they're 2 really good backs that all they need is some carries. They need some carries. And once they get some carries, then they're going to be really good backs. But, you can't just have carries at practice. So I think that with this week coming and last week that they're going to have a number of carries, and it's going to be comfortable to them instead of being out nervous. Like, I got to protect the football. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. Just get out there after they get some carries. Go out there and play. And our fullbacks are doing a real good job. They're like they're glorified offensive linemen. But like you said, our offensive and defensive line is setting the tone for our team.
Coach, that's a great point. Those other backs, just having to gain experience at this point.
Right.
You could see the difference between Xavier
and that was the difference
and
between last year between the backs and then Xavier. But once he got his carries,
right?
So that's where I'm expecting the same thing from Jalen and Juice. I think with the number of carries, they're not going to be worried about this and that and this and that. They're going to get the ball, trust their eyes, and let it go.
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Well, you coach the second. The offensive line. The offensive backs down at Bethany. So
right. No,
I'm not telling you anything.
No, you could just tell with Xavier, like the vision he has. He's just that little bit quicker.
You trust it.
Seeing
you trust
that
it.
cut. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And like you said, with that experience, he's not thinking about all those different things. So for those other guys, that is eventually going to come along for them, and that's going to be huge for your offense too, to build that depth with experience as well.
Coach, you talk about Xavier. Can we get an update on how he is health-wise?
He's getting better. He's getting better every day, and I don't know that he's 100% right now, but he's getting better. And we're just like offensive. We just got to work on our receivers other than Isaac got to get open. because they're going to double him. They're going to put 7 in the box and go man-to-man on the other 2 guys. So they just got to get open. If we can just get them to get open, catch a couple passes, and maybe if they don't take the double team off of Isaac, then they got to take one guy out of the box. So we just got to improve that part of the passing game. And it's hard for 5 or 6 guys to block 7. And although I think we're doing a good job running against 7 guys, you got to in some way loosen that box up and get one of the guys out of there.
Well, that's what me and Steve talked about the entire game. Was I could think that your passing game is like a work in progress, and you're trying to get situations where Isaac can get one-on-one, and that happened a couple times. But
we hit it.
That's a team thing. That's a team thing. Like you said, other guys got to get open,
right,
and things to that effect. But Isaac Hill, he's capable of making the plays, and I think in time, him and Aid Manning will be a nice combination.
Well, he does good. But like I said, the protection's there. And we just gotta get other guys open, or some way get one of those guys out of the box. They say get your playmakers the ball. Well, one of our playmakers our tailback.
Right.
So you have different playmakers and different types of schemes, and we're not going to change from now because it's worked for 41 years. It can work for another 41.
Absolutely. Faces change. X's and O's stay the same, right, Coach? Coach, not to jump ahead too quickly here, but you have University Prep, USO coming in this week.
They had a big win over
Carrick. They're 2-0 coming in, and they lost. They lost to Carrick last year, 40-0, and they won 66-0 this year.
Yeah. Who'd they beat in the opener, though?
In the opener, they beat who do I have? Newcastle.
Yeah,
Newcastle,
a good football
double
team.
overtime.
Yeah,
yeah.
And they were down 20-12. So they have Coach Berry does a good job with those guys. And, they have a hard time getting, 3 different schools, guys coming to practice. Just be like guys playing for one team from Central, Big Red, and Wintersville, and you get them all to practice at the same time.
Right.
That's pretty tough, but he does it, and he has 41 kids on the team, and they do a really good job.
Did they maybe pick up some kids, too, that wasn't on the roster last year that maybe transferred in?
Yeah.
That system?
Well, once they join that school for that, it's science and something. So they get anybody that comes in that school can play for them.
Right. Yeah, because there was just a few names that I didn't recognize from last year. But I know a couple kids are really, really big on. They're really high on their quarterback.
And number 4 does a really good job.
Yes,
man.
I was going to bring him up. Daniel Boy Kane. His nickname is Boy. He can fly. He can fly.
He's one of the better receivers. He reminds me a lot of the kid that played for Lindsley last year and the kid that played for Wheeling Park. He catches the ball, and even number 3 for Canton South this year in our preview. He was a really, really good receiver, and their quarterback is a 2-year starter. So we got to be ready to go. Like I tell our players, you got to respect the game. You got to respect everybody you play, and we've been snuck up on before, and just like Clemson. How do you spot 21 and get beat by 21? You got to play the game.
So you anticipate University coming in throwing the ball at you, Coach?
I think their tailback's really, really shifty and sweet, but their quarterback gets rid of the ball quick. And, we're going to have to play some press coverage and hope that we don't give them too much time because with the speed they have, that's a good way to beat press coverage. But we'll probably play a little bit of 22, 5-man under and 2 behind it, and just see if we can get to the quarterback with 1 blitzer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the whole thing. I know that when you're in that press coverage, you're hoping that you could get pressure on the quarterback most of the time, whether that happens or not. But I've seen an improvement in the defensive secondary. And I told you personally, I didn't think that you guys played that bad in the secondary. They they had some players that went up and made some plays. Your defensive backs were there, and that was a challenge for you. And I've seen you guys getting better every week in the secondary.
Well, we have 3 first-year starters in the secondary. Keith Lewis is a really good basketball player, but he was hurt all last year. Didn't get to play. And then Jameer Falks, he's a first-year starter. And then Lawson Lewis, a first-year starter, and Aiden Manning. So, the only one back from last year is Brody. And he gets our guys lined up, but I think our secondary is improving, but I think the defensive line is helping it improve because I think we're getting a better push when we don't get to the quarterback, or at least making him move or do something to get off his spot, and that's the first thing.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things I saw last week, and that's what I brought up earlier with your defensive line, their pass rush, staying in their lanes and just kind of collapsing the pocket and not making the quarterback comfortable back there, not giving him time to set his feet or making him shift his feet and have to look for a check down and what have you, which, again, buys your secondary. It's better for your secondary if he's doing that. If he's not checking, if he's not able to go to his main receiver and has to look for a check down while that pocket collapses, that's trouble for a high school.
And our
kid.
Linebackers are getting a little bit deeper also, and that helps.
Yes.
And 3rd and 9 helps better than 3rd and 3. So
absolutely,
the down and distance does a good job too.
Yeah.
We've been a lot better on first down than we have been the last couple of years. And, first down's a key. Everybody knows first down's a key down, but if we can just keep them, behind the check or, 2nd and 8, then, we have a chance. And, like I said, we're improving. We're improving in the little things. So that way, we don't have glaring improvement because I think we're pretty good to begin with. But pretty good isn't good enough yet. So, but we are improving, and that's what I'm hanging my hat on, the ability to our players to improve.
All right, we got Reno Saccoccia. We're going to take a quick break. Okay, we'll be right back here and finish this up with Coach Saccoccia.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890. Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red Head football coach Reno Saccoccia on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Okay, we're back here at Bennigan's with Coach Reno Saccoccia, sponsored by Fort Steuben Maintenance, Ohio Valley Sports Online, bringing you our weekly coaches show.
Can I say hi to my wife?
Absolutely.
Hi, Patty.
Patty's here having a chicken salad. Life is good, Coach. You've been in it 42 years, head coach, 50 years together, right? 52 years?
Now, this is my 54th.
Any surprises come about? Anything surprise you after all this time?
Yeah, every year is a new year. And the only thing I'm disappointed in myself is being miserable after a win. But sometimes sometimes that's how it is. You can't get over the loss quick enough, and you can't enjoy the win long enough. So as long as you have goals, you relax on Saturday and get started again on Sunday. And I'm just thankful that I'm coaching where I'm coaching because the kids care as much as the coaches.
That's saying something right there. I forget what I was going to say, Steve. You got a question? I have one more question with the coach. I wanted to talk about scheduling and building familiarity with University, USO, and Mooney and things like that. Do they remain on your schedule? Is your schedule pretty much made up for the next year?
I think we have 7 games for next year. Ursuline doesn't come back until 24 because we open up with
Bishop McNicholas.
Yeah, McNicholas. Mike
Oh, we
Landis.
talked about that. That's right.
That's our opener next year, and then New Philly will be at New Philly, and then we have Mooney at home. I don't know if Obama will get back on the schedule or not, but we have Dover, Wheeling Park, and hopefully Lindsley stays on the schedule. We have Alderdice University, and I think we need a 10th game. I think that we're going to replace Louisville. I don't think they're going to re-up with us. Hopefully they do, but if they don't, we're going to have to get a game 10 and a game 4.
I know what I wanted to ask you, Coach. This year you're 2-1, and has your preparation during the week changed at all, coming off a loss and coming off a win?
No, I mean, no. You got to be done with that loss by Monday. I mean, you got to be done with it. It's got to be done, and you got to get to the next game. I mean, you just can't you can't pout about it. Just no, it doesn't. It hasn't changed. Now it changed a little bit this week because we've been through 3 tough games, and then like yesterday we had shoulder pads on for 45 minutes and off for an hour and 15, and today we went an hour on, an hour off just because of the heat. Mm-hmm. And, it being 88 degrees, but up on the field is over 100.
Right.
And so, the preparation changes as far as the physical part of it, but, we haven't tackled a practice in probably 10 years. And not one tackle. Now we do tackling drills, but once we get the offense and defense on the field, we haven't tackled in probably more than 10 years. And I just feel that early in my career we lost games on Friday, we lost them on Tuesday because that was just the way you did. You practiced shorts on Monday, scrimmages on Tuesday, and went back and got ready for the next game on Wednesday and Thursday. But for the last 10 years, we just we've been watching where we're physical and where we're not.
Yeah, I was going to ask kind of a similar question as far as the practice goes. It's it's week 4, you're 4 weeks in, and then you hit 90 degrees.
That's because it's the beginning of September.
right. But 4 weeks in, and
4 weeks in and Labor Day.
Yeah, that's.
But that's tough. I mean, we came off 15 games. And like in 15, 16 to 17, and then 18, we played 5 seasons in 3.
Right.
And that's a lot of games. And and we played 15 games last year, and hopefully we play more than 10 this year. And that takes a toll on an 18-year-old kid. And heck, that's as many games the pros play, and they get paid. Mm-hmm. So we just got to watch. You got to pick your spots and. Hopefully, our players. We've been disappointed a lot as coaches and as players, but we've never been disappointed in the effort. And our players will play on Friday. Just hope that we can eliminate turnovers and costly mistakes, and everything else will take care of itself.
You're getting better at that, Coach. But staying on the conditioning aspect of it, we saw a lot of cramps Friday and Saturday night. How do you address that during the week?
Well, I don't think it has. The cramps have anything to do with conditioning. It might have something to do with nutrition and diet. But you take a look at the colleges. I mean, those big colleges, they have nutritionists and everything. You don't see that many cramps on the field for them. And we had a couple kids with cramps, but again, I mean, you got to hydrate. And I text our players every day: hydrate. And that's you got to hydrate during school. You got to hydrate at night. You got to hydrate. I mean, when did you ever see a bigger football team take a break every 15 minutes for water? I mean, it's just how it is right now. I mean, just gotta. That's how it is. And never before have I done that. And we have guys coming back to watch practice. I played earlier in the year. They call me, what's that softy ice cream called, Mr. Softy? And but it's just. The game of football has changed, man. It used to be played in a phone booth. Now it's played on an airport runway, and conditioning wasn't as big 25 years ago, because teams are running off tackle 400 times. How far do you have to run off tackle? Now, I mean, you're exploding every play. I don't care if you're an offensive lineman, defensive lineman, or pass rushing, or corners. You just got to fly to the football, and conditioning is very important. We ran yesterday for probably 12 minutes, after practice, but you can't do that every day.
Right.
All right, Coach, we appreciate Steubenville Big Red going into week 4, 2-1, taking Pittsburgh USO, coming in at 2-0. Wish you the best of luck, Coach, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Happy birthday, Ray.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
You'll be 70 the next one.
That's right, man.
You're catching Steve.
And I'm a nervous wreck. Okay, that's going to do it for Coach Reno Saccoccia here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
I'd like to congratulate Coach Connor and all the schools of Jefferson County. I think that we're all representing the county in a first-class manner, and wish the Creek the best of luck. I see Coach sitting over there, and
Andrew Connor, he come in alone today. That's what happens when you lose, Andrew. See what happens?
Good luck, brother.
All right, man. Well, thank you, Coach.
Yep.
And Andrew Connor coming up next. Thank you.
Everhart Bove Funeral Home, they believe you should take care of your loved ones while you still can. Pre-planning at Everhart Bove ensures that your family won't have to worry about the stress of final arrangements during this most difficult time. More importantly, they won't have to worry about how they'll pay for it. Visit Everhart Bove Funeral Home today and discover all the affordable options available. Everhart Bove Funeral Home, Wintersville, Richmond, and Burgolds.
Thanks, Everhart Bow Funeral Home, for sponsoring Indian Creek head coach Andrew Connor on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red head football coach Reno Saccoccia on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Everhart Bove Funeral Home, they believe you should take care of your loved ones while you still can. Pre-planning at Everhart Bove ensures that your family won't have to worry about the stress of final arrangements during this most difficult time. More importantly, they won't have to worry about how they'll pay for it. Visit Everhart Bove Funeral Home today and discover all the affordable options available. Everhart Bove Funeral Home, Wintersville, Richmond, and Burgolds.
Okay, we're back here at Bennigan's. Coach Andrew Connor from Indian Creek. Want to remind everybody, take the opportunity to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost you anything. You'll be notified every time we go live. And we have a busy week going on. Tomorrow we're going to be at Basil's for the celebration of Weir High 100 years of football. But right now we're going to talk to Andrew Connor, sponsored by Everhart Bow Funeral Home. Andrew, my buddy, lose the 28-7 to Brook, 14-7. They hit you with two quick ones.
Yeah, I mean, we thought we did, really well in the first half. If we could have we just needed one play here or there. We had, we got off to a 7-0 lead. We, seemingly had the game somewhat under control there, and they were able to get a couple scores. And I think things may have been different for us if we could have maybe got one right before the half. We were down there, and if we could have got it back to 0-0, you never know. But I know that it sounds, I don't know, maybe they got rose-colored glasses on, but I really do think our kids are playing hard and they're playing well. Again, it just, it seems like we're just so close and we just can't push ourselves over where we need to get over to. I mean, you take away a play here or there, in both the last two games. I really do think the results may have been different, but, hey, it is what it is right now. We're 1-2, and we got to pick ourselves off. I told the kids, we're going over to Weirton, big celebration. No one's going to feel bad for you, so we got to get going.
Right.
We had a good football team, Stevie. I wanted to mention one thing. I'm sorry, Zion McGee, 72 yards, 25 carries. What's his name? Byard. 48 passing, 34 running. You know who really stepped up, in my opinion? Gavin Pinnell, 53 yards on 7 carries, man, the sophomore. Really liked what he did, man. I really liked what he did.
That was the point I was going to bring up, Ray. I had an opportunity, Coach, to watch the whole game. And credit Brooke. I mean, give credit where credit's due. They did a great job of bottling up Zion. They really did. You know, keying on him obviously, but as Ray mentioned there, and I told Coach Hammock this in school the other day, I was really impressed with how Gavin ran the ball. He's a physical runner. He's got a little bit of shiftiness to him. Seems like he has great vision. He's only a sophomore. So I wanted to make sure I gave credit to him. And just your thoughts on that, having a young back that can either get reps in the absence of Zion at times, or now you got 2 guys back there that can really cross the team up on who's going to carry it.
Well, I think, Gavin really got his kind of start, at Cambridge. I mean, Gavin's numbers at Cambridge were really good. He got the touchdown right after we came back from that 16-hour break we had for the rain delay. And I think he's been a great compliment. I mean, he's been our linebacker for us. He started last year right as a freshman, the very first game that he was a varsity football player. He just has, a football sense. He's a great athlete. He's a 3-sport athlete, and I think, again, it proves that the more sports you play, the better you get at all the sports you play. And, Gavin's been a nice compliment to Zion, especially now. We suffered an injury to our Sam linebacker, Caden Manlittle, and he's not going to be able to play that Sam back the rest of the year. So Zion had to step in and play linebacker for us, and he is, he's played really well there for us. And, we're asking a lot of him now. He's not just a tailback, and so it's nice having both him and Gavin. They both play outside backer for us. They both run the ball for us, and it's been nice to have both. And so, I hope that continues that way.
Right. You got the Bodo boy back at defensive end. Good-looking boy. How much you think he'll help you down the road?
A lot. I mean, I just think, first game back after all he went through with the one shoulder, then the opposite shoulder, and just having him there, what a pass rush he helped us provide. I think it helped us push Brooke to one side of the field a lot when he was coming off the one side. And again, like I said, I feel like, we're not as far away as maybe some people think. I mean, I don't feel like we're anywhere near the team we were a year ago. I feel like, we've played 2 very good football teams in the last 2 weeks. And again, I'm not making any excuses, but I told the kids, you didn't get beat by teams that were 0-3 and 0-2. You got beat by a 3-0 team and a 2-0 team, and right. We were in both games, and we just got to figure out how to get to that next step. That's the kids and that's everything, part just part of the thing. And we fight till the end. We play hard till the end. Again, I'm proud of them. I mean, I can't say enough how proud I am of them and the coaching staff. We're battling. It's just, we just haven't got that play. We just don't get that break you need sometimes that can pull you up over the top. And so you keep practicing hard and you keep playing hard. Like, this week you'd never know. We'd lost our last 2. It's been, 700 degrees. And, we've gone out there. We practiced hard. We had a 3-hour practice on Monday. No complaints. The kids practiced hard. The last 2 days, helmets and shoulder pads, but, practicing hard. So, the energy's there, the passion's there, the effort's there. We just need to get a little bit of, I hate to say a little bit of luck. Right. On top of the effort we're getting, and who knows? That's we could very easily be on the other side of this and be staring at something really special. But I think the kids are playing hard, and I still think there is, some sort of reward for doing things the right way, and I think our kids are doing it the right way.
Yeah, and that's got to be that's got to be the most promising for you and for your staff, is that there's that consistency and effort still. The consistency and effort is still there. It's just getting the kids, maybe to believe that, hey, listen, that break's going to happen, but we just got to keep putting forward the effort that we have up to this point. And again, watching that entire game against Brooke, your guys are playing hard till the end. That's there's no question about that. And I know you and your staff have done a great job instilling that in these kids. And I feel for you, and I hope they do get some breaks come their way soon, because I think once they do, like you said, I really think they can turn the corner and turn this into a really good year for them. I do.
Well, my attitude is Brooke been playing for this year. I mean, they've been playing these young kids. They got a bunch of seniors. They're no slouch. and you was there right with them. And I agree with you guys trying to get over that hump because you was there. I watched the game on TV, and they hit you with a 5-yard scoring drive, then a 4-yard scoring drive, and I think they got you back on your kids back on your heels after that first one, which still didn't put you out of reach, but then they hit you with the second one, and I think that's exactly what you're talking about is, you guys are climbing that mountain, and you can't get over it. But, you're not losing to bad teams. I don't think so.
No, and like I said, I've asked our kids to play hard, and I think that's the one thing. As long as you're playing hard, you're doing the right things, you eventually feel like you're going to break through that. And I think, just watching the kids this week, they still know that they're a good football team. They still know that, we're nowhere near where we could be. And I think as long as they keep that as the center of what's driving the program and driving us at practice and preparing ourselves, I think, eventually we're going to catch somebody where everything goes our way in a game, and then they're going to see, what I know we are. I mean, I know that we're a good football team. I've got good football players. I got kids that care, kids that want to be better. When it was over, we're in the locker room against Brooke. Those kids come up to me to apologize. I mean, I thought they played as hard as they could. And so to know the kids are still saying, Coach, it's not your fault, it's our fault, it's my fault. Just knowing that we all have some skin in the game,
right,
and that it's all of us, that we all know that if we just each did a little bit more or did a little bit better here or there, that's how close we are. And I think that's what drove us this week to, in tough situation outside, to say, what, we're not going to use that as an excuse. We practice hard. We didn't cut our practice down. We didn't do anything different than we would have done if it was snowing out. And I think that's a credit to the kids because we didn't say we're not wearing shoulder pads. We didn't say, we're not wearing helmets. We practiced the same length of time. And, we went through hard practices on 3 days. So I think our kids want to take that step. And so they know, if you can't get there, you're not going to get there by taking it easy or cutting back or saying we'll do something else. So I think they have the right attitude, right frame of mind. And I think that, we're closer than people think.
Right. Now,
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Looking at this week, Weir High comes in at 2-0. They've beaten Oak Glen, and huge win for them last week against Toronto. Again, another undefeated team, 3 weeks in a row now. What do they bring to the table? I know they have some athletes there. They always do, and I think Coach Saccini's doing a good job with them. But just talk a little bit about Weir High, what you see on film out of them.
I could probably put it down to one word, and that is physicality. I mean, Weirton kids play a physical style football. I mean, that's been the case in the entire 21 years I've been in Indian Creek. Those games between us and Weirton are games of survival. I mean, I think the word you put up there is, can you survive it? And I'd expect the same thing. I think Frank does a great job with his program. I think he's got a great staff with him. They're well prepared. They play hard. But when you look at a Weir High football player, there's something about wearing that jersey for them, and that's how they represent their school. And, you always get the best. And I think when Weirton and Indian Creek play a football game, a lot of that tradition over the years and a lot of the battles we've had over the years, those kids remember that. And again, this is the thing about playing local teams. I mean, this is what gets your kids ready to play. I mean, we lost to Brook, big rivalry game. But, immediately through all the means that, young kids do their stuff, both sides were already at each other. You know what I mean? And so, I think that helps, pick up your spirits faster than maybe if you're playing somebody you don't know. I mean, now you're going across there, and the kids know this is a 100-year celebration. They know that it's going to be ramped up there. Lots of pageantry with the whole idea of bringing people back, and that's what I'd want to play in. I think the kids that I coach want to play in that. You don't want to play in front of 15 people. You want to play on a packed house on a Friday night against kids that and I think we're going to get that, and I think that's hopefully what will bring out the best in you. I think when you're challenged and you feel like you're a little against the wall maybe a little bit, and you feel like you're the underdog because they're undefeated and it's their big night, I'm hoping that'll be enough to kind of maybe push us that last little bit up over that that hill that we're on, that we can't just get over that.
Yep.
Coach, I know you're looking to go in and spoil Weir High's celebration, but I think me and you talked about it last year. The thing that I see about your schedule and playing these local games, these are long history, tradition-laden games whether it be Mingo, whether it be Wintersville, and all these local teams. I mean, that's a motivating factor for your team every week. And you say your team hasn't quit because they're challenged every week at the emotional end. That's what I think. They're challenged every week at the emotional end just by the name Creek, Brook. Creek, Weir High. Goes back to Wintersville, Brook, Wintersville, Weir High. I love it.
I do too. I've always thought that, when we put our schedule together, I think it's one of those things, you want to play as many teams you can close to you, because I think that's what you do. You bring in rivalries, and I think that's part of high school sports. I mean, part of the whole idea of, that looking back, 15, 20, 25 years after you're done, is what did you do in those local games? Because you're going to remember that. You're not going to remember the kid, that plays for, like we play Mapleton. You're not even going to know where that is. Mm-hmm. Most of our kids now, then, or later, even on the bus trip there.
Right.
But when you play a Weir High, or you play another school like, Brook, or you play East Liverpool, you play Belair, Harrison, you play schools that you play from junior high through high school, I think it just makes it makes it easier if you have to go through what we did, which is 2 hard losses, to get your kids focused, because they know the kids, they work out together, they're on travel teams together, so
right.
They have relatives, so they're going to want to do their best, and a lot of times that's what you need that that final fourth quarter, that kid has to reach down in there, mm-hmm. and a lot of times they got to motivate themselves, and that helps to motivate them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's a point I was going to bring up too. Most of these kids, through whether it's summer baseball or what have you, they've played against each other. The Weirton teams are always going to play against the Wintersville and the Steubenville teams and what have you in the local tournaments, and I know the way that the basketball leagues are set up now with the younger kids and the Pee Wee football. They've known these kids for years. So that familiarity is there. That's something that, again, it's going to push them emotionally, whatever. And even the ties just in the communities themselves. Years ago, grandfathers working in the steel mills together and so on. So, and as you said, relatives. I mean, it's just, tight-knit community, even though a river divides us. And I think it's a huge opportunity for the kids this week. And I can see it in their attitudes in school. I think they're excited for another opportunity to go after another undefeated team. They're not backing down from it, from what I see.
No, and I told the kids, it starts with me. I got to do a better job Friday night getting our kids ready to go, and I'm going to. I think our staff has worked really hard. The kids have worked hard, and I think we're all on the same page. I mean, as long as you're all on the same page and you all have a common goal, and our common goal is to get better and get over the hump, and that's what we're striving for. I think that keeps us in unison, and that's what you need. You need something to go that be a driven mark for you, and I think right now that driven mark for us is to get a big win. And obviously winning the opener was a big deal because of what we had last year, but we need one of those games now where we beat somebody that's one of our rivals. We need that game to kind of give us that energy to move us forward. And to me, this would be a perfect opportunity for us. I told the kids, you have a chance in front of you to go do something. You're playing a team that's undefeated. You're playing a team that's expected to do well.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of seniors on their team too. I mean,
right.
We played 3 straight schools where they are senior laden and ready to go, and we've taken their best punches. And I told them, the good thing is nobody has knocked us out or kept us down. We've
right.
kept fighting. Okay, next for this Friday we do it again.
Yeah.
So you got to keep the same attitude, same thing. We need to finish and close out. That's our big goal.
Yep.
All right, let's take a quick break here, and we'll be back with some closing thoughts with Coach Andrew Conner. It's a High Valley Sports Online Coaches Show, live from Bennigan's.
Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Thanks, Everhart Bow Funeral Home, for sponsoring Indian Creek head coach Andrew Connor on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
All right, we're back here live with Andrew Connor, head coach, Indian Creek. Coach, you talked about Weir High's physicality, your opponent this week, coming in at 2-0. What's the, other than their physicality, what do you think you can do, and what are you hoping to take away?
Well, I think our biggest thing for us is, they like to run the football. That's an obvious stat for them. They're physical and they like to run the ball. Our big thing is, we've got to contain certain plays. And, last couple of years they've been able to get outside of us, a lot of stretch plays, and really got to our perimeter. And so one of the things is we got to set the edge. For us to be successful, we practice all week. Somebody has got to set the edge to turn that back in. And so, we feel like we have some different options here to do that. And that's kind of our big thing defensively. And then offensively for us, it's about, where we're at with the chains, especially on first down. We've got to put ourselves in a place where our running game is still a possibility for us. So if we're 2nd and 5, we're 2nd and 6, we get it to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. That keeps us with our running game, and we feel like, with Zach running the ball better from a quarterback spot, having 2 running backs, in Zion and Gavin, that would put pressure on their defense. We don't want to become a one-sided offense and try to do stuff that we're not really, that we're not built to do. And then for us, I think the wild card for us is, we have not played well special team-wise. I thought we got a little bit better last week, but I think that may be, in a game where I think maybe both teams are pretty evenly matched, it's going to be what that third part of the game is. And so for us, we got to do a good job of, flipping the field on punts. We got to do a good job setting up returns. The little things that in a game where it may be decided late and with inches, that part there could be a real big plus for us. So, for us, we look at them and say, the one thing they bring is speed and athleticism. And for us, we can't give up big plays at speed and athleticism. We got to keep things in front of us. We got to make sure that we force them to, take the ball and go 12 to 13 plays because, odds are in your favor that the offense is going to be able to do that. But in the same flip side, we could use a couple big plays. That's something we haven't gotten this year where, we've flipped the field on a 60-yard run or a 45-yard pass. We could use 1 or 2 of those. That would go a long way in helping us out. So that's where we're at. We know what the intangibles are for us, and then, we got to go out and we got to play 48 minutes of football. That's the thing we've been, telling our kids that, everybody's going to be worn out. It was hot all week. What kids prepared? What kids, drank the water during the week? What kids got their rest? What kids were ready to play football? And what kids aren't laying on the sideline? You can't use them, in the fourth quarter of the game. So we're hoping our kids have, bought in with that and have done their things with hydration, and, we'll be ready to go on Friday night.
You okay, Stevie?
I'm good.
I'm good. Man, I want to wish you the best of luck, Coach.
Thanks, buddy.
As always, we'll be pulling for you. Hey,
Thanks,
good luck.
David always told me you was the favorite son, so make sure you say hello to your mom and dad.
I will. I will.
All right. That was Andrew Connor, head coach, Indian Creek. They face 2-0 Weir High this Friday night. We'll take a quick break and be back with Coach Josh Frankie from Toronto.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to spend time with your friends and family? Look no further than Toronto Lanes. Our state-of-the-art bowling alley is the perfect place to bowl a few games, enjoy some delicious food, and make memories that will last a lifetime. The staff is always friendly and helpful, and the lanes are always in great condition. Plus, the food is amazing. Whether you're a seasoned bowler or just looking for a fun night out, Toronto Lanes has everything you need. We offer leagues for all ages and skill levels, as well as open bowling and cosmic bowling on the weekends. The atmosphere is fun and welcoming, and the prices are unbeatable. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your friends and head to Toronto Lanes today. Toronto Lanes, where the fun never stops.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Thanks, Everhart Bow Funeral Home, for sponsoring Indian Creek head coach Andrew Connor on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
You're listening to Ohio Valley Sports Online, the Sports Authority, bringing you the best in local sports, high school as well as college. Subscribe to us on our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook as well.
You know, Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate. Fort Steuben Maintenance. You want the number? 740-283-4890.
Okay, we're back here at Bennigan's. Ray Saccoccia along with Steve Daly and Danny Vogel, being here with Josh Frankie, head coach at Toronto Red Knights, sponsored by Toronto Lanes. And, Coach, I'm really even hesitant to talk to you because everything was hunky-dory, 12-0, and you were cruising.
Yeah.
And then you lost the straw that stirs the drink. And I found out today from my sources that I have inside Toronto, I'm keeping an eye on you, tells me that he's lost for the season.
Yeah, 4 to 6 months. Yeah.
Very, very, very devastating blow to your squad and to the kid personally.
Sure.
I mean, high expectations for him, and God willing, he heals and he comes back for a big senior year.
Sure. Listen, I mean, first let's talk about the kid in general. He's a very strong Christian. Has tremendous work ethic. I mean, he knew what he had to do to become a top-level quarterback prospect, and starting in December, he started to go out and try to do that and put in a lot of work. So you just hate to see a kid that worked so hard to get to where he was and then have something like this happen. But the good news is it's just a foot. Nobody's backing off of his recruitment. Everyone. I can't tell you the number of college coaches that have reached out to me and reached out to him and basically said, hey, we're still with you. We love you. We'd love to see you here. So it's been just amazing to see the amount of support. Some of these, you think you're a small town like Toronto, and you're getting college coaches calling your kid and saying, hey, man, God bless you. Like, hope for a happy recovery, and we want you down here for a game. I mean, that's cool for a small town kid. So, thanks to those guys. But listen, like you said, it's 12-0. I think we had him on the ropes. I don't think. I mean, he was going to have one of those games. I mean, he was 6 for 7 for 72 yards and ran the ball 6 times for another 67. Like, he was going to have one of those nights, and I just don't think they had the answer for him.
Right.
Am I right in what I heard, that he returned and was hurt again, or just couldn't go?
So yeah, they thought maybe it was just a foot strain. The team doctor kind of was like, let's tight. He wanted to go, and Dad was on the sideline. He coaches our junior high, and Dad was like, yeah, let's wrap him. Let's see if he can do it. And the idea was like, all right, we're going to put you out there. You're just going to throw. It's just going to throw a ball. You're done running for the night. He went out there. He tried to do it, and just he couldn't. And, I felt even worse after the game, after we realized what happened. And one of the very first questions, I asked was, like, did I make it worse? And the doctor was like, no. It was the damage had already been done. Nothing he did out there made it any worse than what it already was. So this is what it is. But, like when you look at the momentum we had in that game and then something like that happens, I mean, we had a sellout crowd at home. And after that, you could hear a pin drop. I mean, the energy just all changed.
Right.
And it was
understandably.
Oh, absolutely. It was dead silent. And, listen, for the kids, they see that, and it's, like I've watched the film a couple times, and, Cam Baker's in the tailback, and as soon as it happens, you see Cam's head goes into his hands like, oh, no. And I think that kind of is just emblematic of what the whole team was kind of feeling.
Right.
And as a coaching staff, it's hard to, we kind of built the game plan around him.
As you should.
Yeah, and utilize his
Cam
strengths.
Baker hurt as well?
So Cam ended up getting a high ankle sprain a little bit later in the game, that second quarter, and he ended up having to come out. And then we had Seth Thomas end up with a knee injury; he had to come out. So you're missing 2 of your 3 starting linebackers, your star tailback, quarterback, and your starting left guard. So the fact that we got out of there 23-12 is a testament to some of the younger kids that stepped up, but. You got to change your whole game plan, and it's not that Russ Dickinson isn't capable of doing it, but they just, we're kind of scrapped what we had going. We're kind of calling plays on the fly at that point, the best we can. So it's just things change, and if it would have happened in practice on a Wednesday, I think the outcome of the game is a little different. We build a game plan that's a little bit more friendly to Russ and utilize his strengths, but. At the end of the day, listen, Zeb Kinsey is a great football player who is playing on a really, really good football team. And guess what? You take him away, and we're still a really, really good football team.
Well, tell us a little bit about Dickinson that's going to step in.
Listen, we have all the faith in the world in Russ Dickinson. He's one of the smartest players on the team. He's one of those kids, going into last year, him and Zeb were in a quarterback competition together, and he's fully capable of doing this. He played quarterback as a freshman for us in junior high. He was the starting quarterback 7th and 8th grade. He led our guys in 8th grade to a 7-1 BMAC title. I mean, he's fully capable of leading this team. He's just a different player, and here's to give you a taste of what you're getting in Russ Dickinson. You got to remember, Russ Dickinson's been playing wide receiver all year. He goes in this game as a quarterback after Zeb goes down, and that same drive that Zeb gets hurt, we call we had a passing concept to the left, a 3-man passing concept to the left, and we had a 1-on-1 with Marchbank to the right. And I was like, hey, whatever you like, take it. You like 3-on-3, take it. If you like the 1-on-1, take that. He goes out there, and our tailback was supposed to be in pass protection, and you could see him on film tell the tailback, I want you to run a swing. And I asked him afterward, and this is when he runs in a touchdown. And I said, "Well, what?" I said, "What were you telling Cam?" He said, "I told him that I wanted him to run a swing, and if he did, and the linebacker jumped him, I was taken off." That's exactly what he did, and that wasn't in the play design. Right. So he's a high IQ player. There's another concept we have. It's our Y cross. We go double post to the play side. We get Y cross on the backside, and behind that we have a dig by the backside number 1 receiver. And we were in a formation. The kids lined up wrong. Russ realized that we didn't have the dig on the backside. What's he do? He motions the tailback out to that spot to get us the dig on the backside. And listen, I mean, you can't ask for anything more than a high school junior to know the offense that well, that he's able to get you into the stuff that you need to be in. So Russ is going to attack the game from a cognitive level. He's going to be very intelligent. He's going to be more anticipatory with his throws. And he's going to beat you with his brain. He's not going to, break 6 tackles like Zeb did on that run he got hurt on and break it off for a 70-yard touchdown. That's not what Russ does. Russ is going to beat you with his intelligence. And, again, I think the coaching staff and the team all have full confidence in Russ here on out. I mean, and I think a lot of people after this injury's happened, they're kind of just counting us out and like, they're on life support now. And listen, I'm telling you right now, our team hears that. That makes them a little motivated.
Yes,
so hungrier. I think Friday night you're going to see a team that's going to come out and their whole mission is going to be able to to prove to people like, hey, we're still really good.
Yeah, they can rally. They can rally behind Dickinson.
Right.
That was 2 points that I was going to bring up, Coach, because I had the opportunity to watch portions of that game. The fact that, number one, as you pointed out there, Dickinson comes in the game, finishes out the drive, finishes out with the score, which I thought, was, to see that out of a kid, I said, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine with this kid. And I don't even know the young man, but to see him come out and perform like that and take snaps where he probably was very, very limited leading up to that point, taking those snaps. That was number one. Number 2 thing, and again, I feel for Zeb. Saw him in your week 1 contest, was really impressed with him as a player. seemed like kind of a freakish thing on the play. Even
it was non-contact injury.
Yes, absolutely.
Foot just kind of gets caught in the turf.
Yeah, he was kind of breaking away there. It looked like he was going to take it in for the run, and then just kind of goes down. Just stepped on it wrong or what have you. Maybe a little rut in the turf. So to lose a kid of that caliber on something that was kind of, maybe a 1 in a million chance of something like that.
1 in 55,000.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it just, you feel for the kid. But
he's going to bounce back. He's already kind of made that decision of he's going to start, stationary throwing as soon as he possibly can, and then, start to he's already talking about, I'll be ready for the Elite 11 in April, and he's already got it mapped out, so he'll be fine.
Right, good.
Well, I like that. We're going to take a quick break here. We're going to be back with Coach Josh Frankie and talk about his upcoming opponent this week.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to spend time with your friends and family? Look no further than Toronto Lanes. Our state-of-the-art bowling alley is the perfect place to bowl a few games, enjoy some delicious food, and make memories that will last a lifetime. The staff is always friendly and helpful, and the lanes are always in great condition. Plus, the food is amazing. Whether you're a seasoned bowler or just looking for a fun night out, Toronto Lanes has everything you need. We offer leagues for all ages and skill levels, as well as open bowling and cosmic bowling on the weekends. The atmosphere is fun and welcoming, and the prices are unbeatable. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your friends and head to Toronto Lanes today. Toronto Lanes, where the fun never stops.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Okay, we're back here at Bennigan's. Coach Josh Frankie. I'm going to take the opportunity to remind everyone out there watching to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.iValleySportsOnline.com. Just hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it will really help us in our goals to move towards 2,000 subscribers. You'll be notified every time we go live. I want to remind you, tomorrow night we're going to be at Basil's for the Weir High celebration of 100 years of football. Coach, this year you got Madonna coming in, 2-0, no let up. How you getting ready for Madonna?
Listen, they're a good football team. They've scored close to 80 points, I think, in the past 2 weeks. They haven't given up any touchdowns, I don't believe. So they're a good football team, and very small roster. But again, after playing at school like Weir High, I think we're kind of looking forward to getting somebody our size. Right. Like it's we came out of the game a little bumped up a little bit, so it'll be nice to play with somebody our own size, and hopefully get some of our health back, but. They're good. They're a good team, and they're gonna spread you out. That quarterback is a heck of an athlete. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He can do all the things you want out of a high school quarterback. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on him, and we're gonna have to play our game. Not much changes. It's kind of plug and play. Russ goes in, executes the offense. We do some things that are within his capabilities, a little bit, and. It's going to look a little different, but for us, it's the same system. So, right. And then defensively, I listen. As much as it hate, you hate to lose a kid, it creates opportunities for other people. Mm-hmm. So we have a very promising young freshman in Drake Boucher, who is a big freshman player. He's probably pushing 6 foot, 180, 185 pounds. I think he could be the next Zeb Kinsey. You know what I mean? Like, he's that strong, he's that athletic, he's big. So he's going to slide in as a freshman at that Sam linebacker spot that Zeb was at, and I'm really excited to see how he plays. I think this could be the beginning of a very bright future for him, where 2 years from now we're talking about him and getting a lot of college interest. So.
Yeah, just seeing a little bit of like highlights and so on of Madonna so far. I know in their Week 1 contest, you mentioned quarterback can throw it, he can run it. Seemed like he hit a lot of passes in that Week 1 game, some big plays. They hit some deeper balls. But in Week 2, from what I read against Hancock, who I believe is out of Maryland, I think, they had a big rushing night. Yeah. He had a big rushing night. So, is it a case of what you've seen on film so far that, they're just going to take what's available to them? Do you think they're a stronger throwing or a stronger rushing team at this point? It's hard to tell after only 2 weeks.
It is hard to tell. I think they got ahead in both games a little bit early, and it's kind of like, are they running the ball just because they're trying to be, polite, try to get out of the game, and not make a situation, where you're kind of rubbing it in. So it's hard to tell. It's also hard to tell if, are they being vanilla? Are they not showing everything they got? Right. So. We fully expect to see some new wrinkles and some new things we haven't seen on film yet from them. We anticipate that. But I think if my guess would be they're going to try and be pretty balanced is what I'm thinking. We saw them in a 7-on-7 this summer at Brook. They threw the ball well against us. So, we're going in that game realizing, defensively, they're going to take their shots deep. They have some good athletes. They have some good speed. Don't let the small roster, blind you from that. They're going to come after you, and they're going to try to hit the big plays. They're going to go downfield. And, a large part of that, too, is we got to make sure that quarterback doesn't have the time to do that. I think anytime you have an athletic quarterback, you don't want to give them time to sit back and make decisions. Are they going to throw the ball? Are they going to take off and scramble? You want them to, to be under pressure and duress quickly, so they can hopefully make some poor decisions. So.
Right, Coach. You got a new quarterback. You're on the road for the first time.
No, we're home.
Oh, you're home?
No,
okay,
home.
All right. Well, that's a good thing. I was just wondering how much would your preparation change now, because you don't want Dickinson to try and be Zeb Kinsey.
No.
Dickinson's going to be himself. You're going to have a game planned around what he does well.
Sure.
How do you expect him to play?
Listen, I do not be surprised if you see a good stat line from Russ Dickinson come Friday night. I think a lot of people think, Russ Dickinson's going to go in there now. He's just going to hand the ball off because they have a big line and they have some good running backs, and they're just going to hand the ball off. And I'm going to tell you right now, this year we're probably 50-50, 60-40. That's not going to change. We have some very athletic receivers, and we're confident in Russ's arm. We're still going to go out there and we're going to run the offense now. Is there going to be as much quarterback run game? Probably not, but that's really the only component that's really going to change. And, don't get me wrong, Russ can run the ball. I mean, you guys did the game Week 1, and he busted off a good, 82-yard touchdown run, So, Russ can run, and that component will be there. But we also, when you're on quarterback, too, you kind of got to protect him a little bit. So
Absolutely.
Coach, we're at Madonna, new coach this year.
Yeah, Troy Fay.
They caught a bad break, but this assistant coach, he was assistant coach, stepped in to be the head coach. Now, when you play somebody that is more your size and their numbers are down, does that change anything in your strategy?
It doesn't. Not really. I mean, we're going into this. Listen, I mean, let's be honest with each other. There's some questions out on us right now of what type of team we're going to be now. And, we're breaking in a new quarterback who's not had the reps the first 3 weeks that a starter would have. And he didn't get the scrimmage reps that your starter would have. And he didn't get the 7-on-7 reps that your starter did all summer. So, to be honest with you, this is a game where we're looking at it as – our guys are going to play. We're going to play the whole offense. We're going to play the whole defense, and we're going to get reps as a team because this is one of those things where we have to build the team up regardless of how things go. If we slip away from them and we get ahead, starters are staying in because they need the reps. If they get ahead of us and by a large margin, the starters are staying in because we have to get some continuity as an offense under Russ, and that's kind of the game plan. So our guys are going to go out, they're going to battle their guys, and I think obviously we're a week ahead of West Virginia, so I think we might be in a little bit better shape. But their guys are having to play both ways, and we have some luxury where we're able to rotate some guys. We're able to rotate our backs a little bit. We're able to rotate our receivers a little bit. Our defensive line is on a 7-8 man rotation. so we can get some healthy, fresh bodies in there. They don't have that luxury. Right. So, if it comes down to the fourth quarter, I think we might have a slim margin there where we can kind of take advantage of having a little bit larger roster than what they do.
Yep.
We had the game last year, I believe. You was over there. That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
You handled them, but you got some injuries. Can you update us on the other than Kinsey? How is Baker? And
so Cam's going to be back. Cam could have played through that Weirton game. He got banged up a little bit, but we got to the point where it was like, all right, he went through the third quarter, and it was just one of those things where it was like, let's get Patrick McEwen, who's 100% in, and let's take some pressure and alleviate some of that off of Cam. Mm-hmm. But Cam's going to go Friday night. Seth Thomas, we anticipate him going Friday night as well. He got banged up a little bit, but Seth's one of the toughest, hardest-nosed kids on the team. And as a senior, you know how valuable those games get. Your senior year, when it's winding down, you only got a couple more left. It's gonna take a lot to make you miss a game. So we anticipate him coming out. So outside of Zeb, I don't think we're going to be missing anybody come Friday night.
That's good. Steve, are you good?
I'm good. All right,
Ray. Coach, want to thank you for stopping by.
Yes,
Wish
sir.
you the best of luck.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
it. This coming Friday. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All righty.
All right, this is Coach Josh Frankie from Toronto Red Knights, 2-1, to face the 2-0 Madonna Blue Dons. It's the High Valley Sports Online. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with Coach Eric Meek of the Crusaders of Catholic Central High School.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to spend time with your friends and family? Look no further than Toronto Lanes. Our state-of-the-art bowling alley is the perfect place to bowl a few games, enjoy some delicious food, and make memories that will last a lifetime. The staff is always friendly and helpful, and the lanes are always in great condition. Plus, the food is amazing. Whether you're a seasoned bowler or just looking for a fun night out, Toronto Lanes has everything you need. We offer leagues for all ages and skill levels, as well as open bowling and cosmic bowling on the weekends. The atmosphere is fun and welcoming, and the prices are unbeatable. So, what are you waiting for? Grab your friends and head to Toronto Lanes today. Toronto Lanes, where the fun never stops.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too, only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Here come those Crusaders from Catholic Central High. Coach Eric Meek coming in at 3-0. Coach, you feel pretty good. Chest out, chin up. Got another win, 28-14 to move to 3-0 at Harding Stadium. My comments is congratulations to this point. I think the last time that Central was 3-0, Stevie Daly was the head coach.
Yep. Been a while ago.
So things are going good for you up there, Coach, and I want to congratulate you on that first.
Well, thank you. A week ago, I told you if I got a 1-point win Saturday, I'd be ecstatic.
Right.
And I meant that because I told the kids all last week that that was a team I've been worried about all off season. All summer as well. And, just really, they had everybody back but the one kid, and they had good speed, really good team speed. They hit us a couple times on the tailback to the open side on the swing. Right. I think they got 10 yards and then 8, and then we came back and stopped them for a 3 or 4 yard. So we adjusted to that. They hit a couple passes over the middle, but really our defense bent but didn't break.
Right.
And the kids were a little panicky at the half, and I walked right in. I was one of the last ones down there. They get in the locker room, and I just told everyone to stop and listen. And I said, just relax. Right. Don't panic. I said, it's 14-7, and we get the ball first or second half, and I knew it was going to be really hard to shut that team out because of their speed. And bottom line is, if you give up 14 points in football today with the way offenses are, as long as you get 15 points offensively, you've done your job. And, I thought the defense played real well. We have, in 3 games, have 9 interceptions defensively. We're winning the turnover margin +6. A year ago, we were way down. It wasn't even comparable. And, offensively, we rushed for 275 yards. And, I like that.
Right.
And so, I thought our special teams played extremely well. We were 3-9 through the air. Tyler was really upset about the interceptions because I keep harping. The one he overthrew, I said, don't worry about the second one because that was right before the half. That was just,
right.
We're trying to score.
Taking a chance, yep.
So, overall, I thought it was a good win. We needed a win like that. That was kind of tough at times, and I thought we were real physical and played well, and we're glad to be 3-0.
Yeah, Coach, I was impressed with, when you're talking about your defense there. Defense is, as you said, they were bend but not break, opportunistic with creating the turnovers, and I was really impressed with how your defensive line played. I thought your defensive line played an outstanding game. I really do. I wanted to make sure I gave them credit because, on those interceptions, great plays by your secondary players, but a little that has to do, too, with some of the pressure that your front was applying to that quarterback.
Yeah, and we had some tips also.
One of the balls was tipped that was
Yes.
intercepted. I mean, like, you want turnovers, but I don't know if I've ever seen 2 or 3 in a row just like
2 minutes.
Now and give you that 14-point lead.
There was 10:02 left in the first quarter on the third pick.
But, Stevie touched on one thing that I think has been the key to your success when he said defensive line, which has really been stout. But in this game, my man Tommy Purgie bust out for 107 yards. B.J. Fallon gives you 91. Alianentai runs the ball consistently. It's your line play, Coach.
Yeah.
Your line play on both sides of the ball. And I look at these kids, and they have been there for 3 and 4 years. I mean, these kids are – your line is ready to play football on both sides of the ball. I couldn't be happier. To me, that's the key to your success so far.
Yeah, we were concerned last week going in about the double team's front side, and the front side really cleaned up.
Right.
And we were real proud of that. And we were a little concerned about some of our backs blocking, and we worked on that hard today. We will tomorrow as well. But, yeah, it's great. The kids – they come and they practice hard. I keep saying it.
They're a veteran group. I mean, these kids. I remember them playing as freshmen. I think one of the Roush's might have got hurt one year. Did one of them get hurt?
Yeah, I believe so.
Hurt a leg, but he's come back strong. And then you put my other ace in there. You move him from tight end to tackle, and Cam Bradley.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect position for him because he gave you good play. A defensive end as well with a block in a hurry.
Yeah,
so that offensive and defensive line.
We had to jumble some guys around. Cody Carver, the senior center, could not play. I think he's going to be released for this week. So we had to move Tino Kropka from tackle to center. And so sometimes we move that left side around depending on the defense. If we see a 40 team, a lot of times we'll put Brendan Grimm at guard. If it's an odd front, we'll put him at tackle. And so Cam did a good job moving down at tackle. And then we had Jacob Lesnevsky and Noah Huff playing tight end. And we'll probably bump Camden back to tight end this week. But I told Noah and, Cam, Noah, and Jacob could all play that position.
And they're getting experience. I mean, having it at tackle end, I mean, I just like it. And I think Cam Bradley's going to continue to get better. I mean, he's just a junior?
Junior,
so he's
yeah.
coming along as well. I really like the offensive and defensive line play.
Yeah, and if I could, I really want to, credit our staff. Defensive coordinator Ted Kostecki's done just a tremendous job, just really doing a fantastic job with that defense. Dave Brown, offensive and defensive line, Coach Seth White, who's coaching the secondary and receivers. Gabriel Erickson's helping out with the skill and with the defensive line, and John Serafini as well. So, we have a lot of guys that are really, really stepping up on the coaching staff, and that makes my job a lot easier.
Oh, absolutely. And again, still sticking with that offense and defensive line, I want to point out, too, you do have one young guy on the defensive line, a freshman, right? Freshman, Johnny Kostecki,
Right.
which again, it's a tough spot for a young kid to go in, especially in the interior of the defensive line. But I thought he held his own last week. I really do.
Yeah, Johnny.
Against a physical team.
Right, yeah. Coaches are rolling that. We're pretty deep on the D-line. Coach Brown rolls those guys in and out. Him and Teddy Kostecki talk through the week and on game night, and Dave gets them in and out, and that keeps us a little bit fresher.
Well, you might have some injuries. I know one of the Mascio boys. Is he going to come back?
He's back. He's back. We're actually, as long as Cody's going to be a game time decision, but I'm no doctor, my gut feeling is he'll be released. And if that's the case, we're at full speed. We're at 100%. We'll dress 28 kids.
It was the first time, Coach, that Tommy Purgie, in my opinion, exploded offensively.
Yeah.
He's been running a little bit unsure, a little bit of tippy toes, but he's always been a force for you on the specialty teams. Now he got the ball and he was comfortable, and he broke off a couple and got one called back.
And what I liked also is, I'm not one of them coaches that, you got to get the ball to this kid. I never have been. But by rolling BJ and Tommy from the tailback to the flanker position, and then you throw Tyler in, who gets a lot of carries at quarterback.
He sure does.
Our distribution was very, very almost even when I saw the stats after the game.
Right. Yeah, and that really puts a defense in a bind that there's not one single guy you can key on.
Right, and that's what I told those two guys the week before. They weren't quite following my recipe, and I when you're coaching a game, sometimes some things kind of you lose track of.
Right.
So I called them over about a week ago. I said, I thought I told you guys, unless I tell you different, to roll every play. And they kind of, we got caught. And I said, guys, listen, I think you're both great. But I want you to do that because that's going to keep a defensive coordinator, like you said, on his toes.
Right.
And now they understand that.
Right.
Well, I think that's all these younger kids that you're playing, like Sprockeye's giving you good time offensively and defensively. I really like what he's doing. You're getting a good mix of different kids in different grades contributing because you got some solid seniors that have been playing for a while, and none of them's been better than your quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a workhorse for you, but Tommy and B.J. Fallon really stepped up and gave him some help this week.
Right, and then we got Timmy Mahalio and Jimmy Hernan at fullback as well. We have some freshmen that have just got back from injuries that are looking really good as well. I think in the future they're going to be some decent players if they continue to develop. But again, the other thing is our locker room, the culture of our kids, the work. It's no secret I teach at Toronto. And a year ago, I was having to call Coach Lesnar, who was our dean of students, every morning. Is anybody not in school?
Right.
I told the kids the other day, I don't even have to do that. I mean, this year and year two, because they know they better get up and get to school and be at practice, unless it's something earth-shattering. And we pray to God that never happens. But it's not even a situation now that I even got to text somebody at Central when I'm 8 miles up the road north, is everybody in school? Because they get up, they go to school, they come to practice. And, that is a big thing, as you know, as being an ex-head coach. That's a very big factor right there.
Yep.
Plus, it's less headaches for me.
Absolutely. One thing I want to comment on, especially, Coach, is the enthusiasm your team is playing with has swarmed over to after the game. I was walking to my car, and I heard you guys coming on the bus, and you guys were singing and being happy and cheering and enjoying that win. That means a lot to me. I'm a raw guy, and I really enjoyed that. I haven't heard that coming out of a Central bus in years.
Well, I tell you, I get excited after wins because, as you know,
was that you leading the cheer?
Yeah. I had to ask around. But, no, seriously, though, it's hard to win. I don't care what level. It's hard. To win is difficult. And you work hard all week, and you got them locked in. And then when you do have success and you shut those doors in the locker room, you gotta. I even drank a little bit of honey after the game in front of the team. So
good for you.
My wife didn't like. She had to clean all that up off my clothes when I got home. She's like, "What?" She thought I went got breakfast somewhere.
Right.
All right, man. We're going to take a quick break here. Come back with Coach Meek and talk about this week's opponent, Ashtabula St. John.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too, only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
Ohio Valley Sports Online is your sports authority. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Live streaming high school and NCAA sports, plus weekly football coaches shows right here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
Okay, we're back at Bennigan's here. I want to remind everybody this week's Central game, Ashtabula St. John. Make a note, 6:30 starting time. Coach, what's the reason for that?
They at their request, because it is a little bit of a drive. I don't think it's that bad of a drive. It's straight up 11 and then you hit 90, but I guess they haven't been to Steubenville before. They must think it's really far, but that they had requested that. They're really good people, and we called obviously Steubenville City Schools to make sure that could happen, and that's what time we're going to kick off. So 6:30.
Tell us a little bit, Coach, about Ashtabula St. John.
Well, their numbers are actually lower than ours. We're going to dress 28, I'm hoping, and they got about 20 on their roster. They did beat Division 5 Beechwood Saturday afternoon, 38-24. Their previous two games, they did get beat. They do have some speed, and their quarterback can throw the ball. I really feel, I think we're better up front. Mm-hmm. So, that's something that we're gonna try to utilize that advantage. At least I think so. But we need to, we're certainly not in the too early to be thinking about playoff points, but I did use that as a little bit of motivation this week that they just beat a Division 5 team, so we get the win Saturday, we'll get some nice points.
Right. Yeah, just looking at some of their information coming into this week, as you said, they got a pretty decent quarterback. He's kind of like their guy, Narducci or Narducci. Mm-hmm. I'll have to get the pronunciation for Saturday night, but familiar sounding. It sounds Italian, could be a Steubenville name, right? So far on the year, he's thrown for 516 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's their leading rusher with 138 yards.
Right.
So he's kind of seems like, and before you think like, okay, there's a big disparity between their passing yardage and their rushing yardage, they're about a 50-50 team.
Right.
And they are fairly efficient running ball. I think they're averaging just over 4 yards a carry in their run game. He's got a nice target in Anderson at receiver. He has 20 catches for 444 yards. And then Severino, another good Italian boy, 5 catches for 142 yards. So they do got some kids. It seems like they got some weapons, but they've given up a ton of points too.
Yeah, they have, they have only one senior on the team, so they got some young kids.
Right.
But, like you said, those numbers you just rattled off are pretty decent.
Yeah.
So they're 1-2, like you had mentioned, and but they are coming off 38 points they put up on Beechwood, who's a bigger school.
Right.
Coach, how's your practices been going? 3-0, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of support. How's the kids practicing now?
Good. Monday, I've always, even at Toronto, Weird, and Wellsville, Mondays, even when we play Fridays, has never been a big day to go outside. Either JV games or a lot of lifting and film work, and then Tuesdays we lift. Yesterday we lifted and did scouting report and got on the field from about 4:30 to 5:30. Real up tempo, tackling circuit, sled, pursuit drill, special teams. Today we went longer. We went about 2 hours and 20 minutes, offense and defense. And then tomorrow, and the heat, with the full pads. And then tomorrow we'll do the same. Tomorrow with a more of a team emphasis. But the practices have been good. They've been spirited. We had a good one today, a good one yesterday, and hopefully we finish the week off.
Well, don't want to get off, Coach, without talking about down the road here. You got the homecoming weekend come in. They just announced the Hall of Fame inductees going in, the 93 baseball team, the 93 football team, the 94 baseball team. Coach Craig Farrar, Chinichibi, who was outstanding, ended up playing at Iowa State. Jeannie Pettis, all-time leading basketball scorer.
I taught her at Wellsville. Yeah, Jenny.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good recruit for the Crusaders. Then you got, I believe, Nick Tuttle, running back, track star.
Right.
And my man played with me, was a junior on my team. David Smith was a defensive tackle on our state championship football team. Did I miss anybody, Coach? I don't think I did. I think I got everybody. Smitty, Ginny Pettis, Craig Farrar, Nick Tuttle in the two teams, and Chinichibi. I think I got anybody. That's a special weekend coming up for the Crusaders.
Right. That 93 football team, I was a young head coach at Toronto then. Right. I was 23 years old, and we played them at Harding Stadium. It was grass. I'll never forget it. It was 10-0 at the half. It ended 27-8, and I tell you what, I've coached against some really good football coaches, but I'm going to tell you what, Greg Bain's teams really played hard, and that was a great football team.
I remember I was coaching at Big Red at the time, and we referred to it as Central. I believe at that time they might have been Division 5 or Division 4, but they had Division 2 players. I mean, that group, Mike Orlando, Donald Thorne, Kuzakowski, David Conner, those guys could play with anybody. Benji Claus, who might have been the best of all of them. JoJo Aulette in baseball, Sismondo in baseball and basketball. JoJo Aulette was a star in basketball, but it goes in cycles. And at that time, in the mid-'90s, I was there in the early 70s. That time for Central was as good as any other time.
Right. Oh, it was some great teams, and so we're looking forward to spending the evening with those folks in a couple weeks, and hopefully we got a couple more wins under our belt.
All right, Coach, I want to thank you for coming. That's Coach Eric Meek of the 3-0 Crusaders going up against the 1-2 Ashtabula St. John's this Saturday night. Remind everybody, 6:30 starting time. Eric Meek's show sponsored by Bennigan's. We're going to be right back here, Coach. Best of luck this week.
Good luck this week.
We'll be right back with Mike Collopy from Edison High School after these breaks.
You too.
All right, Coach, good luck.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too. Only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
Come and visit the Friendly Tavern on 213. Our little neighborhood bar is the perfect place to unwind and have a good time with friends and family. Here are some reasons why you should drop by. Fun and friendly staff. Our staff is always ready to welcome you with a smile and make sure you have a great time. Reasonable prices. We offer great food and drinks at prices that won't break the bank. Great food. Our commitment to using only fresh and high-quality ingredients means that every dish we serve is delicious and satisfying. Community feel. The Friendly Tavern is a place where everyone knows everyone. Come and be a part of our friendly community. Highly recommended by our customers, the Friendly Tavern is the perfect spot for a night out or a quick drink after work. Don't miss out on the fun. Drop by today.
Okay, we're back here at the High Valley Sports Online Coaches Show, live from Bennigan's. Ray Saccoccia along with Stevie Daly and Danny Vogel, and with us we got Coach Mike Collopy of the Edison Wildcats, sponsored by Friendly Tavern. Coach, coming in 3-0, you rode over Minerva 40-7. You had 27 points in the second quarter. You blew it open. Tell us a little bit about the game.
Well, we started slow. I don't think that was any fault of the kids. I just felt like, offensively, we just, we had a couple drives stall. There was a couple mistakes here and there, but the effort was there. And, as you said, the kids picked it up in the second quarter. We were very efficient on offense. I thought our defense, played extremely well throughout the course of the game. I mean, everybody... the players executed everything that we worked on throughout the week. And, I thought our special teams, had improved. I think PAT-wise, there's a few things we got to work on with that. But other than that, we came out of the game healthy, and, some of our young kids got to play towards the end of the game, and that's always good to see.
Absolutely. That's a tough stretch, too. First 3 games on the road. You finally get the opportunity to come home this week. It's kind of weird, too, with the distance of your first 3 games. You went to Monroe Central, not a short trip. Then you went up north to Independence. Minerva was the shortest of your 3 trips, but I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm looking forward to you playing at home this week, just so I can get a chance to see at least a little bit more highlights on TV. Right. I get the opportunity to see Big Red each week with the broadcast. I see Central each week with the broadcast. Toronto, they give them pretty good coverage with the highlights. Even local games. Creek, I get to watch film at school with Coach Hammock sometimes. Of their games. So. Finally going to get a chance to maybe hopefully see some more highlights. But, again, talk a little bit more about that game. Some of the the key plays, who stood out for you as far as, offensively, so on and so forth.
Well, I think as far as offensive goes, I was really, we were really impressed with our offensive line. Mm-hmm. There was, a couple of the plays that we had that were, we were like one cut, one block away from, a 5-yard or 3 or 5 yard gain being a home run. Mm-hmm. And I thought the offensive line played extremely well. I thought they played through the echo of the whistle. I thought their communication was very good. I thought our backs ran well. As far as our receivers, they made some really, really good plays. I mean, you always, receivers are kind of like infields. You just want to make the routine ones, but they Avante Hayes and Deacon Rawson, they had 2 catches that were unbelievable. And, as far as the defensive side, I was really pleased with our front 4. I thought that any type of movement we did, they were where they were supposed to be. I thought our defensive backs, or our linebackers, played extremely well. Matt Evans, he's been playing Mike for us. He had a lot of tackles. Colt Pittman had a really good game. Chase McClure, he's our will linebacker. He didn't have as many tackles, but their scheme and where he was playing and what we were doing really didn't lead him into having tackles. And our DBs did their job. I mean, we went in with an idea of what we wanted to do, and everybody executed it very well. I thought our kicker, Liam Watson, I thought his kickoffs got better as the game went on. I thought our coverage was good. I thought, in terms of our punt return, I think, we've been really focusing on some things in terms of cleaning that part up. I think that's gotten better. We didn't punt that many times. We're working with our long snappers. Some of the things that, that we see with them are all coaching that we can correct. But, like I told Coach, we got out of the game, healthy. We got our young kids in the game, and, that's always good to have that.
Right.
Coach, you talk about your special teams now 2 weeks in a row. I'm a special teams guy. I believe that a lot of times that could be the difference in the game is how you play on the special teams. You say you're getting better. Is there anything that you're doing, or are you paying attention to that every day, or do you just have days set out for special teams?
Actually,
there's so much to cover.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Typically, we try to hit on 2 to 3 special teams, team schemes a day. Mondays, we install pretty much everything or present the team that we're going to see. But we've been really working the first 10 to 15 minutes of practice. We go through an individual specialty period, where you got long snappers, you got kickers, punters, return guys. And specifically with our punt return unit, we had some one-on-ones that we had our corners working on, blocking their guys. We had our linebackers, making sure they're picking up the center. So we felt after week 1, utilizing our time and being able to do a better job of coaching it. We really hit that hard on Monday and Tuesday in terms of what we're trying to do scheme-wise. And then by Wednesday, it's not 15 minutes, it's 10 minutes. And we feel that that's been very beneficial. I feel like our kickoff coverage has improved because I think we've done a better job as coaches explaining what we're trying to accomplish. There's all kinds of different kickoffs you can do, but at the end of the day, your kids got to understand where the ball's going. They got to understand their lane. Their lane can change wherever the ball goes. The guys on the back end need to make sure they're not converging too fast. You're going to set yourself up for reverses and other things of that nature. So, yeah, to answer your question, we've taken a lot of time pre-practice to try to work on that stuff, and we feel like the kids have really taken to it, and we've improved.
Yep. Looking this week coming up, you're finally back home, as we mentioned. You have Oak Glen coming in. They're coming off their 0-2 right now, opening week loss to Weir High. Then last week they played St. Mary's, who traditionally is a very physical, well-coached football program. Oak Glen was up on them early, 2 scores. They jumped out to a 2-score lead, and then St. Mary's kind of, woke up, maybe shook off the trip, whatever happened. But I'm sure you've watched the film, what have you. So, I mean, I know Oak Glen's numbers are down, but to jump out 13-0 on a team like St. Mary's, kind of got to raise some concern for you that, hey, they're capable of doing some stuff.
Absolutely. Right off the bat, when you just talk about Oak Glen this year, I mean, they've played 2 really good teams. I mean, they played Weir in their opener. They just played St. Mary's. Their coach has been doing it for a long time. His track record speaks for itself. And from an offensive standpoint, they run a wing tee. They have different aspects out of it, out of the gun. And just from the defensive side, we've been stressing all week. You can't be looking at the backfield. You have to have your eyes on your key. You got to be very disciplined. You got to trust what you're reading, and then whatever your read tells you, you need to be in your gap. As far as defense goes, they have some guys that can run a little bit, and it's you see what they can be, but you also saw the 2 opponents they face. So we have to be ready to go. We met with the kids. We obviously played Friday. We watched our film. We introduced them on Saturday, and we had practice Monday, Tuesday, and today, and whether we play, whenever our game's scheduled, it's up to us as coaches and up to me to have our kids ready. So we have to be ready to go tomorrow.
And that's a huge change of gears for you too. I mean, that's something. The wing tee, like you said, you got to be disciplined in reading your keys and what have you. But that's tough from the other side too for your scout team to run an offense like that. That this is probably going to be the only time you see it all year long, I would imagine. I don't know if too many teams still do it, at least locally. I don't know of anybody.
There's one other team I think that we will see down the road, at least one that has some components of the wing tee. It's a challenge definitely to replicate in practice.
Right.
It's not like we can't call our offensive plays and put it in our terminology and match up. Formation wise, we'll call it our formation, we'll call it our play, but in terms of how we're blocking it, we got to rely on the old cards. And I thought Coach Marcus, Coach Vinny Marcino, Coach Evans did a real good job this week with the scout team. As well as I do. It's during the week, your repetition and the amount of reps you get is only as good as your scout team getting out of the huddle, lined up, and know what they're doing. And those guys did a really good job.
All right, it's Coach Mike Collopy. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with some closing comments from Coach Mike Collopy, the Edison Wildcats 3-0 going into Week 4.
Come and visit the Friendly Tavern on 213. Our little neighborhood bar is the perfect place to unwind and have a good time with friends and family. Here are some reasons why you should drop by. Fun and friendly staff. Our staff is always ready to welcome you with a smile and make sure you have a great time. Reasonable prices. We offer great food and drinks at prices that won't break the bank. Great food. Our commitment to using only fresh and high-quality ingredients means that every dish we serve is delicious and satisfying. Community feel. The Friendly Tavern is a place where everyone knows everyone. Come and be a part of our friendly community. Highly recommended by our customers, the Friendly Tavern is the perfect spot for a night out or a quick drink after work. Don't miss out on the fun. Drop by today.
Okay, we're back here at Bennigan's. Coach Mike Collopy, Edison Wildcats. They got Oak Glen on the Thursday night game on our affiliate WTOV 9. Thursday night, is that lights?
Yeah, what do they call it? They call
Thursday night rivals.
Thursday night rivals,
All right,
Friday
Coach,
night lights. That's
you
what
got
it
the
is.
rivalries, Coach. What can we expect from you and Oak Glen in your Week 4 matchup?
Well, I would, from our end of it, I would hope that you're going to see a football team that every week has something to prove, and if you talk to any coach, if it was up to that coach, I think we would all like to schedule 10 home games. So that's not the case. So it's our first home game. So we'll get to play in front of our home, our home fans and the community. From Oakland, I think we better be ready to play because they're going to come in, looking to get healthy on us. I'm sure the three teams that they've faced so far, there are two teams, including us three. I'm sure that they're probably looking at us like maybe not as strong as the other three teams. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I'm just trying to look at it from the other end. I think they're going to come in ready to play. As far as motivation goes, we're playing at home. It's our home opener of the year. It's whatever it's called. I didn't even know what it's called when you were asked. I hope you weren't going to ask me whatever it's called. I just know we play on Thursday. I don't know what it's called. I just know it's a Thursday game. But there's as I told the kids, Saturday that if we have to motivate them with all the stuff that's going on, then there probably should be somewhere else because I think there's enough motivation in itself right there.
Absolutely. The game on TV motivates you. Any coverage that a young kid gets, that's the best thing about what we do is we get to highlight kids in the Ohio Valley and give them some recognition that they may not be getting. And a game on TV is going to motivate them. I know one thing, Coach. Win, lose, or draw at your stadium, That team's
Sound system.
That team's going to go home with a headache. That sound system will blow your ears off. Like, tell Bill Beatty he got to do something about it.
You know, it's funny. I don't remember too many things from our interviews, but I do remember that quote from last year. And you said, you know, I enjoyed being there. It's a beautiful facility. The stadium's awesome, but man, that sound system is loud. My ears are ringing.
Oh my God! So. Just make sure you play when no Glenn got the ball, and everything will be okay. Coach, thanks for stopping.
All right,
Best of luck
thank
this
you.
week.
I appreciate it.
We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next
All
week.
right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, for Danny Vogel and Steve Daly, this is Ray Saccoccia, the High Valley Sports Online, bringing you our weekly coaches show. Remember, we'll see you tomorrow at From Basil's. I believe 6 o'clock, right, Danny? 6 o'clock from Basil's in celebration of Weir High's 100th season of football. Join us then. And on Friday, we'll be at Harding Stadium for Big Red Pittsburgh USO. Saturday, Jimmy and Steve will bring you the Crusaders hosting Ashtabula St. John. That's it for now. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.